Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do another episode of the TIC-TAC-TOE TBR Takedown. This time I had my best friend Jessie from Reading with Jess compile the books that she wanted me to read, and we put it in this fancy dancy tic-tac-toe board. So she created this. She picked the books off of my physical TBR to put into the tic-tac-toe, and now I get to decide which tic-tac-toe I want to complete. But first, let's go over all of the books that she put in a tic-tac-toe board. First up, King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby. Next up, Done and Dusted by Lila Sage, cowboy romance. Then Darling Rose Gold by Stephanie Warble. I've read another book by this author. She's been wanting me to read this for a very long time. Next up, It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. Count My Lies, which is a fairly recent book of the month pick that I chose, and I know that Jessie's already read it. Next up, Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. This is a book that when Jessie came to visit me, I actually stole off of her unhaul pile, so she gave me this one. So she probably wants me to read it to see what I think. Let's see, next up is Pack Up the Moon. I know Jessie has already read this one as well, and I think she rated it pretty highly, but she said it was emotional. Of course, The Butcher by Jennifer Hillier. I have been wanting to read this for a while. I've heard it's really, really good, and it's about a serial killer, and I've been watching a lot of Criminal Minds lately, so this is kind of calling to me, so that was a perfect pick. And then finally, Dungeon Crawler Carl. And yeah, this is like a sci-fi fantasy book that I recently added to my TBR. So I'm not sure exactly why she chose the books that she did choose for the tic-tac-toe board. And if you don't know what I'm doing or what this video is, this is the second in a series that I started on my channel back in June. And it's basically where I give my friends a link to my TBR and let them choose which books they would like me to read for whatever reason. It could be a book that they read, it could be a book that they just want to hear my thoughts on, or basically whatever the reasoning is. But they put this on a tic-tac-toe board, and then I choose the tic-tac-toe that I want to tackle. Now that doesn't mean that I don't actually read all three books. Like maybe I DNF one and I take it off of my physical TBR. That's what this is all about. The tic-tac-toe that I have decided to tackle, let me gather the books secretly. Over here, where are they? Okay, I have decided to tackle the exact same one that I did in the first episode when Jules from Jules Books and Things chose my TBR. I'm going down the left column, and that means I'm going to be reading King of Ashes by S.A. Cosby, one of my most anticipated of the year. I'm very excited about this. I've read 3 other books by this author, and I'm excited to give him another go. And also he's like a fairly local-ish author to me too. And then It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan. Like, it's summer, I just am reading romances and loving them, and I've read 2 other books by this author, so I definitely want to continue. And then that means that I am also reading Pack Up the Moon, and this is the emotional one. Don't know if I'm ready for it, but this is the tic-tac-toe that I'm hoping to accomplish. Stay tuned to see if I end up reading and loving all of these. Thank you so much, Jessie, for influencing my TBR. All right, my very initial thoughts on Pack Up the Moon are, I thought there were going to be more letters from the wife to the husband. I'm only 20 pages in. Like, this is very initial thoughts. But I thought there were going to be more letters from the wife to the husband. But the wife just died, so maybe that's coming. And I do not like the male narrator. Okay, I need to update you on Pack Up the Moon because I started it last night. I wasn't getting the best vibes, but the vibes have changed and I'm enjoying it more. I read to page 97, so I'm on chapter 10. I do like that it's dual POV, but it's interesting because you're getting like past and present, past in Lauren's perspective, and then present in Joshua's perspective. So Lauren, his wife, they've only been married for like 3 years. She has, I don't know if it says in here, I don't know if it says in the synopsis, I don't think it does, but she has a terminal illness and she ends up dying at the very beginning of the novel. And let me just say, the grief and the way it was written, I was literally crying every single page that I was reading. And I messaged Jessie and I said, Jessie, wait. I was like, I don't mind an emotional story, but this book is over 450 pages and I can't cry for 450 pages right now. So give me the scoop. So she said that she rated this book 4 stars and she said it is more sad at the beginning than like at the end. So, and I already agree. I already kind of got out of that sadness. I don't know if it's because like it's not sad or if I'm just becoming like numb to it or like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I'm enjoying it more. I still am not a super fan of the narrators, but I think I'm gonna forge ahead with the audiobook because like it is so long and I just don't, I think I will sit in my sadness more if I read it physically. Does that make sense? It's like I'm not loving the audiobook, but it's not gonna like affect my rating of the book in any way. But maybe I'll try to read some physically. Maybe I'll pop in the audiobook at points. But I do want to read more of this today. I'd like to make a big chunk into it, you know, hoping to have this one finished by tomorrow. That is the goal, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to jump back into this and I will keep you updated with my thoughts. But things have changed. The tide is turning and I'm enjoying it more today. All right, it's time for an update. I don't have that great of an update for you because I haven't really read anything today and I didn't read too much yesterday, but I do have a mini kind of update and just kind of how I'm feeling about the book overall. I'm on chapter 20, so I'm about halfway. I don't know if I'm going to finish it today, guys. Not that I'm trying to rush through it, but I think I'm more excited about the other books that I'm going to read as opposed to this one at this point. I've just been on a roller coaster with this book. There's parts I like, there's parts I don't. Beginning, very, very sad. Then I kind of became adjusted to it. And now, I don't want to say it's repetitive, because it's not. There's different things happening, different scenarios, different activities, different things. But the writing, it's kind of like, it's like you're making a lasagna. She writes a note to her dad. We have a little bit of setup. Then he gets a note from her. Then he does the activity. Then she writes a letter to her dad. Then we get a little bit of thing. And then he receives the note from her. Then he does the activity. So it's just like the same thing over and over again, but what happens in each individual layer is different. I don't know if that's making sense, but I'm enjoying some things, not enjoying others. It's becoming a little bit repetitive, the layers, doing the same layers over and over again, even though there's variety within the layers. But in other news, I did make this delicious breakfast casserole, and we're gonna have it for like lunch, dinner, breakfast type of situation. It just came out of the oven. It looks so good. Look at it. Oh my gosh. I look crazy because I was bawling my eyes out. I finished Pack Up the Moon, which I don't know why this is the title. I don't think it ever came up in like a sentence or like a theme. So I have no idea what the title means. But I had reading sprints with my patrons tonight and I read the majority of the rest of the book. I had 45 minutes left, so I took off my makeup, got in my PJs, and read the rest, and I just finished it. And just like at the beginning, I was sobbing every single page. Every single page. I was just, snot was running down. My eyes were leaking. Like, it was just so sad. I have been on a journey with this book, from different aspects, from the audiobook to the way it was written, to the formula, to the repetitious nature. I will say that the beginning is like super sad. The ending is super sad. In the middle is, there are down times. The formula of Lauren writing a letter to her dad, some stuff happening with Joshua, and then him getting a letter from Lauren. That is the formula of this book. And it does become a little repetitious. But that being said, some of the tasks that she gave him really do like open up his life, and like, I don't know, it's the most interesting exploration of grief from two characters that are both like super unique themselves. And even though I didn't get to technically like meet Lauren on page while she was alive, through her letters to her dad and the stories that like Joshua told and the flashbacks and stuff, I feel like I did get to know her. And I just, I absolutely loved it. That being said, this being classified as a romance on Goodreads, questionable. I would say it's very much a contemporary story with a heavy grief element to it, but also some romance in it too, because you do get to hear about their marriage and things that they did, and her being sick and him taking care of her and all of that. But I'm giving it 4 stars despite the slower, more drawn out bits. I think if it was shorter, like 100 pages shorter, it probably would have been a 5 stars, because I think the pacing would have been a little bit more, you know, happening. But yeah, I really, really liked it. So 4 stars from me, which honestly, I thought it was going to be like a 3, but it was a 4. I really, really liked it. And that means we get to move on to our next book, which I will tell you all about tomorrow. All right, I'm not reading. This is not a reading update, but this is like a adventure update. So one of my goals this summer is to explore things around my new home, different beaches, different parks, different stores, different restaurants. And today I'm here at Red Wing Park, and it just reopened like a couple of weeks ago. It's basically been closed down for quite a while. They were like redoing the roads and the parking lots and stuff like that. But I'm here today because we're not under a heat advisory, even though it's in the 90s. But I just want to go explore it a little bit. I want to drive through. I'm doing a little bit of recon. I don't plan on spending much time here. But the first thing that you come to is this little Japanese garden, and that's what I'm really interested in. So we're gonna go walk through the Japanese garden, and then I'll probably do a drive-through of the rest of the park. They're supposed to have like pickleball courts, basketball courts, volleyball courts. They have a playground that I can see. They have like covered pavilions with lots of picnic tables. There's lots of things here, and it's very close to my house. So let's go explore the Japanese garden, and I'll see if anything else looks interesting to share with you. Okay, it's obviously the next day. We have gone to the park. Now it's time to read. And the next book on the tic-tac-toe is It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, and I'm very excited about this because I recently read Summer Romance and loved it so much and gave it 5 stars. I previously read Same Time Next Summer, and I believe I gave that 5 stars. So I'm really looking forward to this one. I have this beautiful blue bookmark to kind of like match the cover a little bit. This one says, love is a lie, laughter is the only truth. Jane Jackson spent her adolescence as poor Janie Jakes, the barbecue sauce in her braces punchline on America's 5th favorite sitcom. Now she's trying to be taken seriously as a Hollywood studio executive by embracing a new mantra, fake it till you make it. Except she might have faked it too far. Desperate to get her first project greenlit and riled up by pompous cinematographer and one-time crush Dan Finnegan, she claimed that she could get mega pop star Jack Quinlan to write a song for the movie. Jack may have been her first kiss and greatest source of shame, but she hasn't spoken to him in 20 years. Now Jane must turn to the last man she'd ever want to owe, Dan Finnegan, because Jack is playing a festival in Dan's hometown and Dan has an in. A week in close quarters with Dan as she faces down her past is Jane's idea of hell, but he might surprise her. While covering up her lie, can they find something true? So let's dive into this one and I'll let you know my thoughts. Obviously, let's see how long this one is. 326 pages. I only made it to chapter 6, page 34. So I've only read 33 pages, and there's just something about her writing I like. There's just something about her characters that I like, and the writing is what's keeping me. Within the setup, it's still in the setup stage. I'm not initially in love with it. I really don't like following like movie stars and stuff like that, like celebrities and stuff like that. And obviously, like, she's not a celebrity anymore, but they're trying to make this movie and she's like a Hollywood studio executive. But yeah, and she used to be, you know, in this like show, but so I don't love that. But I think now we're gonna start like getting into the plot of the book. It's always hard in a romance because like there has to be some setup, but that's not what I'm there for. I'm there for the romance, and obviously the romance can't happen until you set it up. So far so good. Love the writing, but we're in the setup stage still. I have made it to chapter 14, page 124. I'm not 5-star loving this book. I'm still really enjoying it though. I'm just not 5-star loving it, at least yet. I feel like her stories build on themselves and you really have to take in like the whole of its parts. So I'm definitely allowing myself some grace in that way, and the book some grace in that way. I don't also like Hollywood-ish stories and stuff like that, and that's like kind of what this book is. But the little romance that's blooming between our two main characters is so cute and so adorable. They actually left LA and went to Long Island, New York to stay with his family so that they could go to this festival where the singer's going to be, that they're going to try to have write a song for the script so it can get greenlit. And his family, I wish that I had that. I wish I lived close to my parents. I wish I had that close relationship with my family. I wish that I could have that as an adult, and I just can't. So it makes me a little sad, and I don't know. You know, it's like things that you can't have or you don't have, and you kind of get a little, I don't know, like sad that it's not you type thing. But the closest I got is when I was growing up and we would all go to my granddad's house for 4th of July, because like all of my aunts and uncles were there, all of my cousins were there, you know, my parents were there, me and my sister were there, and it was just like a big gathering of like people that you love. And it was just like classic summertime pool, fire pit, hot dogs, hamburgers, like, I don't know, just the best memories. But yeah, so I'm here and I'm hoping to read more later, but I did sit outside for a little bit. I did have a little bit of lunch. I was sitting on the couch. They're starting to do the mowing outside for our neighbor's house, I think. So I'm gonna go, but I will check in later. So I finished reading this and I'm not that impressed. It is my least favorite Annabelle Monaghan to date. The only one I haven't read is her debut, which is Nora Goes Off Script. Yay, I got it right. Nora Goes Off Script. I am slightly interested in that one, but not totally. But I feel like she's an author I want to read all of her books. Things that I liked. I liked this scene playing out in the book. I liked Dan and how he tried to stand out amongst his brothers and his twin. And I love her passion for Jane's passion for this movie she's trying to get greenlit. I loved Dan's family so much. I loved the mom, I loved the dad, I loved the siblings. I literally loved everything about his family. I loved their traditions. I loved how they loved each other and how they were there for each other and how they didn't like, I don't know, I loved them. I loved the setting when they were in Long Island with his family, and I loved her relationship with Clem. Even though Clem didn't get a lot of like one-page time, every time she reached out to her, she was there for her. I love how Dan made Jane realize things about herself because he saw the real her, and it made her reevaluate things about her life. What I didn't like Jack. I didn't like the stupid show that she was on when she was younger. I didn't like the celebrityness part. I didn't like the fact that she was like, I know that the premise is like she's trying to get this movie greenlit, so she kind of lies and she says that like she talks to this guy Jack every single day because they knew each other from childhood, and she's gonna go meet him and tell him to write this song for the movie and all of this. But like every time it talked about that, I just wanted to throw up. Like I literally did not care. I didn't care about the movie. I didn't care about her coming into contact with Jack. I just wanted more of Jane and Dan and his family. And I wish that her mom would have been more honest with her up front, but I like how it, you know, a lot of things were healed in this book. So I really like that aspect too. As is, I'm going to give this 3 stars, which is so sad because I think this is probably my favorite cover of the ones that I have read, which I would try to find, but my bookshelves are still kind of a mess. Hold on, let me look. Okay, I found them. So we have At the Same Time Next Summer. So here are the books. I love how they have the yellow top, the colorful bottoms, and like the fonts match the bottom of the book. Like that design is gorgeous. So the first book that I read is Same Time Next Summer, and I really liked this one. Then I read Summer Romance. I read this earlier this month. This one has like a weird cover. This one is like normal paperback. This one is like the textured kind of paperback that I do not like. This one has the buttery soft covering that I really like, and it's like the floppiest. Like if you look at all of them, like here's the flop on that one, pretty good, but the cover is kind of stiff, you know. And then you have this one, but like this one is just like mega floppy. But yeah, so I kind of want to get Nora Goes Off Script to complete the collection and read it, because like I do like her characters, I do like her story. I think my biggest thing in here is I didn't like the celebrity Hollywood getting a script made and all of that. But Nora Goes Off Script is kind of similar in a way. So I don't know, but 3 stars for this one, which means we have officially completed this one, which means we only have 1 more book to read in this vlog. finally started reading this book earlier today. It has been a long process to get here because this past weekend, I did not read anything. It's a long story, but I'm here to give you my first update this morning-ish. I read the first 7 chapters, so I am currently on chapter 8, page 66. It was a little bit of a slow start, but I like that because the writing is so good and I know the gruesome scenes are coming, and we're there now. We are there. So it starts off with our main character in Atlanta, kind of showing you the people that he hangs around, what type of job he has, what he's into. He gets a call from his sister that his dad is in a coma in the hospital back home in Virginia. So he jets off there. He cancels all of his appointments. He goes, he contacts his sister, he sees his dad in the hospital. Then he sees his brother and realizes his brother has made some bad decisions and he's gonna have to help his brother fix his mistakes. It doesn't exactly go how he planned, but now that he has more information, it's about to go down. So I'm enjoying it so far. I'm gonna sit down and read some now. I would like to finish this up in a fairly good time so I can have this vlog up for you guys. But I do have a very busy week, so we shall see. But for now, I'm gonna savor it, and yeah, I'll update you guys more later. I have already read another 70 pages. I literally just sat down and banged out 70 more pages. I'm currently on chapter 17, page 138. I'm about 39% of the way through. And you guys, I don't know what it is about Cosby's writing. He's talking about like gangs and gangbangers and like mob stuff, and like I'm just loving it. It's so entertaining because your heart is just constantly pumping like what would I do in this situation? Like, oh my gosh, get me out of here. Like, are they gonna be okay? Is everything gonna work out? How are these lies gonna is everybody gonna be safe? And like, no, because like people die. And it's just crazy and so thrilling, and like, I hate to say I'm enjoying it, but it's entertaining. For a book. Real life, absolutely not. In the book, absolutely. But they already mentioned like a couple of places that I know. I think they talked about Newport News and Norfolk, and I'm familiar with both of those places. But anyway, putting that aside, gonna relax my mind, join a book discussion, and then I'm gonna hop back in and read more tonight. But it's so good. It is update time because I am more than 60% through this. I think I'm around like 63, 64, 65, something like that. Guys, I could not put this book down. Literally could not put this book down last night. I had to force myself to close the book and get some sleep. I just wanted to stay up. I just wanted to keep reading. I made it to page 225, chapter 25, and I'm loving it. Now, this book isn't going to be for everybody, okay? There's lots of like gangbangers, drugs, heart pumping, gory, graphic, like violence, not like all the time. There's also family and romance and relationships and fighting your inner demons and secrets of the past and stuff like that. There's like so much good stuff mixed in. Today has been such a busy day. Like I was like, it's my goal to finish this today because literally, all I want to do is sit down and read this book. I reached out to Jessie. I told her what I was reading. I told her that I was loving it. And I was like, Jessie, all I want to do is read this book today. But I have to be an adult. I have to work and I have to do a lot of things. So I have not been able to read today, but I wanted to give you an update because I'm loving it so much. And I'm really hoping it's 4 or 5 stars by the end. I mean, I don't have that much to go. Like, where's my bookmark? I have this much more. So I hope it continues the way it's going. And I hope that things get wrapped up in a good way at the end. I mean, I trust 𝒂𝒂𝒏𝒂𝒔. And like, yeah. It took me a minute in the beginning to get to where we were going. I was worried. I was a little worried. I was like, maybe this will be like a 3 stars. But no, it has definitely picked up. It's definitely, this is what I need from Mr. Cosby. So I'm going to hopefully make some lunch, pop on my headphones, read a little bit of this while I eat my lunch. And also, if you have not tried the sweet and spicy sriracha sauce, this is good on so many things. So many things this is good on. Just trust me, it's good. I realize this may be a little bit messy wrapping up the vlog like this. I just got out of the shower, so welcome to Egghead Gwen. But I finished King of Ashes and I absolutely loved this. I'm giving it 5 stars. Is it a perfect book? No. I don't think there is such a thing as perfect, but it totally worked for me. I was on the edge of my seat. I didn't want to stop reading it at any point once I started. I, stayed up late and I could barely keep my eyes open and I still wanted to read. I finished it in 2 days. And that's only because I had to go to bed. I cried, I laughed, and more than that, I was just so in it. I wanted to know what was happening. I was just entertained. There's just something about his characters, how much you care about them, and how interesting his plots are that keep the story moving along. And there was only really the beginning part is what I didn't really care that much about. And when I'm talking beginning, I'm talking, well, I have the dust jacket on upside down, but maybe the first 50, 40, 50 pages, 30, 40, 50 pages, somewhere around there. But basically, once he gets to his hometown, where everything takes place for the rest of the novel, I was really, really interested. That being said, I think it's important to set up Roman where he's living now in Atlanta, like what's going on in his life and stuff like that before he can go home and things transpire. It makes the story that much more believable, things that he's able to do. But yeah, I loved it. I'm giving it 5 stars. I don't think everybody will. I don't know if there's like a theme or a conversation that can appeal to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like in Razorblade Tears, I think everybody can experience losing someone that's important to them and then like fighting for them in a way, but this one is very different and I just loved it. I don't know if this or Razorblade Tears would be my favorite. Maybe Razorblade Tears because like it's the first one I read. I don't know. Razorblade Tears and this one both got 5 stars, and then All the Sinners Bleed, I think I gave 3. Blacktop Wasteland, I think I gave 3. So that's 4 books that I've read. I need to read My Darkest Prayer. I still need to get and read that one. 5 stars for this one. So with that said, that means I have completed another tic-tac-toe. I read all 3 books and this was definitely my favorite. I rated Pack Up the Moon 4 stars, It's a Love Story 3 stars, and this one 5 stars. So thank you guys so much for watching. Jessie, thank you so much for influencing my TBR. who's going to be next, you guys? In the comments down below, leave another creator that you would like to influence my TBR. And let's go ahead and leave some fire emojis in the comments as well. But that's all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day or night. And I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye, friends.